My father didn't have a lot of money in the stock market, and he told me at the time he had about $6,000 in cash. But remember, $6,000 in cash translated into a lot of stock, because in those years you only had to put 10% down for margin. So it's
Ay, qué bonito, osito, qué bonito.
Wall Street was hungry for new hunters. There was one group of would-be investors that the street had always ignored, but whose money it now wanted.
Up until the 1920s, women had played a very small role
Sit,
in the
sit,
stock market.
sit.
Part of this was simply gender prejudice. They were considered incapable of the kind of cruel sang-froid it was necessary if you speculated in the market. But in the 20s, part of the popularization of the stock market included huge numbers of women.
Well, the 20s were a big time for women anyway. They really stepped out on their own. They began to take control of their own money. They went to college, actually, in record numbers in the 1920s. And as they did that, they also got interested in the stock market, and it was a way for them to build their own wealth.
One such investor was a pioneering New York photographer called Alice Austin. She lived in Staten Island, just across the water from Wall Street.
She had moved into this house when she was a couple of months old. She was bright, she was adventurous. By the time she was 11, she had received a camera, which was a new invention by the time, and she immediately took to it. Over the years, she took some 8,000 glass plate negatives, making her one of America's earliest and most prolific photographers.
Alice's inheritance from her grandfather had funded a comfortable lifestyle, but it had dwindled by the 1920s, and she was tempted by Wall Street's promise of a quick buck.
So Alice Austin discovers that she is running a little low, and the question then becomes what to do. Her friends urged her to be conservative, cut some spending, maybe not go to Europe, maybe not buy a car. Instead, Alice found a broker who advised her no, buy stocks, become rich quick. And you know what? You can borrow money so you can buy even more stocks, buying on margin. And Alice Austin thought that, hey, sounds like a good idea to me.
Throughout the soaring market of the 1920s, the Republican Party stayed in power on the back of America's increasing prosperity.
Fetch.
Calvin Coolidge became president in 1923. An investor himself, he was notably silent on the speculative mania gripping Wall Street.
Calvin Coolidge typifies the laissez-faire, devil-may-care recklessness of the 1920s. He's famous for saying that the business of America is business.
It was a prosperous period. Business was making money. Wall Street was making money. The politicians, I think, just said, well, everything's fine. The economy's growing. The market takes care of things pretty well, and the government's